They're a little slow. Next, step 2 would be handle cartridge. They're going to reach into their cartridge box, and they're going to take one of the cartridges out of their cartridge box. They're going to hold it like this. That's step 2. Step 3 is tear cartridge. They're going to tear the cartridge open to expose the powder in the ball. Now, what was interesting is that in order to be an infantry in the American Civil War, you had to have 2 teeth, one up and one down. Okay, if you didn't have that, you couldn't tear the cartridges. So they were finding out early on that a lot of soldiers, when they were initially drafted, they're knocking out their teeth. They wanted to be in the infantry. And then that's when they put you in that other unit out front. They put you in the artillery. You didn't need teeth for that. But that's, let's see, load, handle cartridge. Step 3, tear cartridge. Step 4 is charge cartridge. We're going to take the powder and we're going to pour it down. Now, if I had the ball, if I were going to load the mini ball, what you would do is you would seat it with your thumb. Okay. Next step is remove rammer. You're going to take the ramrod out. And you're going to put it as such. After that, you're going to charge. So we're going to charge the cartridge all the way down to the base of the barrel. And you remove ramrod. Now, what they did lots of times, these guys are going to return it to the musket, but what they do lots of times, if they were in combat, rather than returning the ramrod to the gun, they would just take it, put it in the ground next to them for easy access. But for demonstration purposes, we'll put it back. Once they do that, the next step is you're going to prime. You're going to bring the weapon above your cartridge box, as so. You're going to go to half cock. Everybody heard the expression, you can't go up half-cocked? Okay, this is a safety measure. It will not fire on half-cocked. Okay? Once we do that... Yeah, I just lost my powder. We're going to take one of the caps out of our cap pouch. I'm going to put it over the cone. There's a cone here. What this does is a little hole, the cone here, and it leads into the barrel itself. Once we put this on, we're going to go to what's called full cock. Okay, and then we're ready to fire. Okay, let's turn that way. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to fire by file from the right. That means I'm going to fire, after I fire, the next guy, after he fires, the next guy, and right on down the line. Now, why did you do it that way? Because by the time I fired and went all the way down the line, then I can reload. You never wanted to have everyone discharge their weapons at the same time, because what happens? There's nobody loaded. You're left defenseless. So generally what they would do, I mean, all the big reenactments, you see everybody firing at the same time. Yeah, it's a crowd pleaser, but they didn't really do that in the American Civil War. You wanted to fire by file from the right. So we'll do that. Now when we fire, we're going to have our feet in a T formation like this. It's the most comfortable formation. Ready? Fire!
A bird comes down.
Alright, we're going to load again. Is that a little loud? No. Alright, we're going to fire by files on the right. Now, as reenactors, understand, as reenactors, we do things a little differently as reenactors. We never use the ramrod. Okay, it's a safety reason, because, you know, some of the guys, they forget to remove the ramrod, and next thing you know, they're shooting it downfield, and that's not a good thing. So we don't use the ramrod.
The battle just got real realistic.
Doc, can you get this out?
All right, we're going to fire by file from the right, which means I'm going to fire first, and the rest of the guys are going to fire. Okay. Ready? Aim. Okay. That's firing by file from the right.
Are they finished?
Recover arm. Order arm. Okay. All right. What we're going to do? We're going to going to try and do this in real time and see how we do. And what we're going to do is we're going to fire at will. They didn't really give the order to fire at will, but what very often happened is once a unit went into combat and they would fire by file from the right the first time, after that you just went into independent fire. And you're trying to get as much lead downfield as possible. Okay, what we're going to do is load and fire. Load! Yep. Fire when you're ready. Okay. As I said, the average guys, once you face the crowd, 2 to 3 times a minute. Now, what I will say is that when a soldier is in combat, and he's taking, there's bullets coming at him, and there's smoke and cannonballs, I really think there was probably more around 2 times a minute. Yeah. The distractions there were just incredible. Guys going down to the left of him, guys going down to the right of him. What I will say is that because of this bullet during the American Civil War, the casualties were horrendous. I think we all know about that. Take this little guy here. If you were to be shot, if you were to be hit by one of these mini balls, let's say you were to be shot in the elbow, it would completely shatter everything 3 inches above and 3 inches below. So what do we do at that point?
Chop his arm.
Cut it off. That's all they do. They cut it off. And believe me, they cut off arms and legs by the thousands. Okay? At these guys. By the thousands, they cut off arms and legs.